Hi guys, welcome back to Lunatic Astrology, and we're going to talk today about Mars and Neptune co-joined in Pisces, stealth, betrayal, treachery, poisonings, or enlightenment, profound creativity, spiritual realizations, amplifications of magic and manifestation. So much can happen here. We're going to talk about how it might impact you based on your rising sign. Then secondarily, listen for your sun or your moon. But before we talk about the all signs and also what it might mean for the collective, and a little concern here about a poisoning of a world leader, which I'll get to, let's also talk about a few housekeeping details just for a bit. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit my notification bell if you like my channel. It helps it grow. Also, I'm having a really crazy ass low price on a course I'm teaching called Sky Reader. It's a 6-week immersion into your natal sky. It's Be Your Own Astrologer, Time in Your Best Life, perfect for newbies to intermediate level beginners in astrology. And it starts on May the 29th. If you want to get it at a super discount down to $198 for the 6 weeks, you have to sign up for my newsletter, the Cosmic Moonshine Forecast. Once you do, you get an automatic discount code for that course. So check it out below. And when you sign up for my newsletter, even if you don't want to take my course, you get my 2022 all signs readings for every sign, 60-minute videos times 12 for you to keep forever. Share with your friends, do what you want with them. It's kind of nice to have the rest of the year in advance for all of your signs. You can listen for your sun, moon, or rising. Moving past housekeeping into the sky story. Now, first of all, Mars, the god of war, right? In Pisces, swimming in the sea. He tends to be kind of floaty there. I'm born with that. But he's still Mars. He's got sharp objects, scalpels, swords, knives, and poisons in his hand. And there's Neptune, nebulous, spacey, dreamy, transcendent, delusional, addiction energy, sometimes escapism, and they're combining forces. And they're going to be joining together at 24 degrees of Pisces. Now, just FYI, this is a regular repeating cycle since 2013. They've been coming together in the sky. So the last time they came together in Pisces, okay, 2013 was the first time in over 200 and something odd years, but the last time would have been in June of 2020. And you know what? I still remember it very well. What I was doing in June of 2020 was channeling a book, channeling Neptune, action Mars in the house of my voice, my second house. I was channeling a book. I wrote the whole thing in the months late May, June, and July. It was called The Coming Age of Miracles. So get ready for how this might impact you this time. Depends on which of the 12 houses is your Pisces corridor. And when we do the all signs, we'll be talking about that from the context of your rising sign. It's always useful to check your sun and moon as well, especially if you're a night baby. The moon could really resonate with you, and the day babies born in the after when the sun is above the horizon definitely resonate with the sun a bit. You don't know how to cast your chart in whole sign houses because I'm a Hellenistic whole sign tropical astrologer, not Vedic. Check out my link below for my little mini tutorial for free, where I teach you in 5 minutes how to use online software to cast your natal chart to find out where your sun, moon, and rising sign are. Okay, let's get going now and talk about the world, and then we'll do the all signs. Now, first of all, Neptune can be about viral contagions, and we've been having a lot of that, haven't we? So we all know the whole virus story. We've been living underneath the rule of Omicron, and before that Delta, and before that, the original strains. And Mars is like cutting, ending, and severing things. So maybe we could have a bit of again, another layer of lightening up. But in news came out of England, I'm recording this on May 13th, that the BA2 Omicron variant is even milder in terms of symptoms and less virulent or less pathological than even the BA1, which was already way milder than Delta. I'm always surprised when people don't know that there is no more Delta. There's no more anything. All we have left is Omicron. It was so easy to catch it and was so intensely contagious, right? High R naught factor, that it outstripped, outpaced, and out competed the Delta. So there's no more Delta, guys. Okay. So we just have this new strain that seems to be, for a lot of people, like a cold. And I don't know, but maybe Mars, maybe Neptune coming together right now in the sky. Mars is the god of plagues. He did start the plague back in this Omicron thing from his rising in is ill-equipped rising against a malefic star in the sign of Virgo way back in the spring, or death in the heart of the sun in Virgo, and is rising in Libra in the fall of 2019. So I already predicted the end of the pandemic in several of my videos based on the fact that Mars was going into the heart of the sun in October, and that would be the end of the 2-year pandemic story that he started. He is the god of plagues and things like pandemics in ancient Babylonian astrology. He's the emissary of Nergal, the god of war and plagues. But there's something about this Neptune piece that makes me think about the virus still. And it could also be about revealing things to the public, disclosures, things that were hidden. Because, as I said, betrayal, backstabbing, and all of those energies. One of my favorite books is Archetypal Universe by Ren Butler. Oh, by the way, this is happening on the 17th, 18th, 17th, 18th, depending where you live, of May 13th, May 2022. I should have said that. And I'm going to be doing a little webinar if you want to join me, where we're going to get together and connect to these energies in the sky, because Neptune and Mars coming together are next to the asteroid Hercules. Yay! Where do you want to find your superpower, your superheroic power? Where are you going to find the oomph to push through to Herculean efforts? You know what I mean? And in fact, before I talk about the Archetypal Universe by Ren Butler, I forgot there was another asteroid pretty close as well. Oh, sorry, I'm having to go back and look at the asteroids. I forgot to memorize which asteroids were sitting with this conjunction. Maybe it's just Hercules, actually. That might be it. Yeah, that's it. So with that said, it's Diana, the Archer. Okay, so it's where do you want to take aim in life for something that you really want to achieve or reach or aim for, with Hercules, warrior, demigod, superpowered, 12 labors of efforts. So we'll be doing a class if you want to join me on Neptune. It's free. It's going to be, I think I'm going to do it on the night of the 17th, because it's after midnight on the 18th on Pacific Coast time that it becomes exact. So if you're free on the night of the 17th, you want to join me, come aboard. We'll be doing a guided meditation, a bunch of really cool stuff, talking about it in the sky in depth, and seeing if we can't tap into some of that power. Now, back to the collective story. Maybe I'm going to show you guys what this looks like. Okay, so you know what we're looking at. But I really want to talk about, so I talked about the virus bit. And the next thing I want to talk about is Vladimir Putin. So he was born with his Mars in his second house of things you put in your mouth on the stinger of the scorpion. It's called Shaula. It's a star that is often associated with, stingy things, betrayals as well, but also poisoning. And because it's a stinger of the scorpion. Now, this Mars Shaula in the chart of Vladimir Putin is sitting in the house where he could put something in his mouth that stings him. So in other words, poisons him or whatever, second house. And given that I think indeed the rectified chart with Scorpio rising is correct for him. And with the South Node moving to the house of his body and this happening, there's a little bit of a daunting thing going on, because it is going to be on May the 18th at 1:37 a.m. Central Time. Like, I don't know why my computer's set to Central Time, that the moon will be in a near perfect square to this Mars-Neptune conjunction, which can be kind of already a poisoning vibe. Neptune is diffuse and things you can't see, and Mars is poisoning and sharp things. And this moon is going to be just coming off of that Scorpio eclipse in Putin's first house. It's now going to be at 26 degrees Sagittarius, exactly on his Mars. Well, Mars, Neptune in the sky square his Mars. Long story short, if that makes no sense to you because you don't like astrology that much, it looks like he's in danger of some physical harm through poisoning. Now, I say that, but you know what I mean? He has a heart attack, but I shouldn't say those words, but some government agency has gotten a way through to take him out of the situation so that the war in Ukraine is over. Just a thought. I'm sure right now, just saying this and putting on YouTube, I'm getting like NSA spy, checking me out. Okay, so they said the keywords. But okay, so there's that. Some people think that the vaccine is poisonous. I'm not taking sides. Some people have been vaccine damaged. This is not a subject to debate. That has happened. And that, this whole Mars Neptune secrets revealed, there is support from Pluto, the god of secrets, sextiling this Neptune and this Mars in the sky to reveal secrets. Let me show you what I'm saying. The hidden data, like, the data that nobody saw, the information that was hidden from public view. You'll see what I mean. So that's the sky. And you can see right here that you've got There's Mars and Neptune conjunct Hercules and Diana, the asteroids, which I can't draw in, but you have to trust me, they're there. And then you have this moon at 26 degrees when this is an exact conjunction between these two guys, 24 degrees and 59 minutes of Pisces. You can round it up to 25. By the way, of course, if anything's at 25 Pisces in your sky, this is going to really hit home for you. With moon on Shala, which don't forget is exactly on top of Putin's own Mars, squaring this situation here. Moon is the people, okay? We the people. Neptune is delusions, illusions, or even conspiracies. Mars is actions and disclosures and things like that, maybe. And then there's Pluto, secrets and Capricorn, bureaucracy, governments, powers that be, the elite, the Illuminati, the WEF, the World Economic Forum, call it what you will. This is that Pluto. And here we go, sextiling this situation. And in fact, Mars will actually be coming into a perfect sextile with Pluto in the wake of this particular co-joining on the 17th and 18th, and therefore you would even go like this. How many days does it take Mars to reach Pluto in terms of a sextile? There we go. So by May 23rd, what reveals are stemming from the co-joining of Mars and Neptune. Finally, what I actually like about the Mars-Neptune co-joining on a positive note is that there is a sextile to the North Node and a trine to the South Node. There is a sextile to the Sun. Not bad. However, remember I talked about the potential poisoning of a world leader or treacherous death and betrayal and backstabbing regarding a world leader. You never know. Pluto is involved, and that's always that underworld mafia vibe. And there is the Sun, which can represent world leader, even though it's a trine, okay? But some people would argue if a certain somebody causing a war in Ukraine suddenly wasn't alive, it would be a positive thing. You never know. So in your sky, this is playing out, but of course, no one's going to try to poison you. But I will say for some of you, be careful for food poisoning, depending on your rising sign, particularly Aquarius. If you're Aquarius rising, you don't want to eat some kind of food that's been in your fridge for 1,000 years during this particular event. I do like also that Neptune has deputized Jupiter. Jupiter has deputized Neptune. So back in April, on the 12th, Jupiter made his first ever since 1856 touchdown with a Neptune in Pisces. And now it's kind of like, hey, I thus bless you and bequeath with you all Jupiterian yay. So there's a quality of kind of a Jupiter yay, a Jupiter king of Mount Olympus, a Jupiter, a guru guides, deliver truth, dispeller of darkness. It's been sort of saturated into that Neptune right now. And that makes me think that also for a lot of us, this can be an elevation energy. This can rise us up higher into some kind of spiritual attainment, some kind of spiritual revelation, some kind of excessive, and beautiful higher energies, higher vibrations. I'm not all into that whole anymore, the ascension wave or the 3D, 4D, 5D layers of reality. I kind of left that stuff behind. But if you go back and track my channel in the day, in 2018, I had some really big videos go mini viral where I'm talking about the ascension wave, which is a big new age concept that there's going to be some kind of wave that hits the earth that's going to cause sort of like the rapture in the Bible, where a bunch of people float up into a higher dimension and the rest of them stay there and the earth splits into two timelines. It's very fantastical. But, I have to say, this is the first time Mars has joined with Jupiter since Mars has joined with Neptune, since Jupiter has actually been in that same piece of sky. So unlike 2013, 2015, 2017, 2020, all those every 2-year cycles, this is a new order of magnitude of spiritual truth seeking, higher values, commanding Jupiterian energy that comes, enlightenment-y stuff that comes into the story with this particular combination. Another one is, Mars is like, I don't know, this is very Indiana Jones kind of, but what could the seabed part and we could find something under the sea that's a big reveal, is quite surprising or helps us see humanity's story in a new light. I'm always hoping for something like that, but Pluto is the god of the underworld and things that are hidden from view underground. Neptune, the god of the sea. Mars is cutting away, opening up the doors. Mars in Pisces is like Moses parting the Red Sea. So what is being parted in the sea of something so we can see something that was hidden, whether it's stories about the agenda around the vaccines or the big pharma, or about the war in Ukraine, or about Vladimir Putin and his destiny, or something intimate in your own life, we shall see. So I'm going to go ahead and do the all signs. Just before I do that, I would like to mention, this is an amazing book. It's a little bit like a cookbook, Archetypal Universe by Ren Butler, where you can go to any old, combination of planets and read about it. But I was going to give you his Mars-Neptune opening paragraph. Principles are spiritual and creative vitality, magnetic warmth, charisma, a gentle and seductive strength, gifts of compassionate action, enlightened and non-action, strange, then on the darker side, strange feelings of pointlessness, futility, malaise, secret harmful actions, and camouflage desires. I have to say, if you're not in good shape in your life and you're not in touch with your spiritual side, possibly Mars and Neptune could be like you get into an ennui, a kind of existential blah. You have no action power. Your desires may be muted. Your taking action on your desires is like stalled. You're kind of like a car with a stall on a hill when you're learning to drive a standard, or because Pisces is water, your boat engine has failed and your paddles are broken. So keep aware of that, depending on who you are and where you are in your life. This is definitely a let go, let God energy as well, because it's Neptunian. So try to find that anchor of your spiritual truth to go through this event, because there is a glorious sextile to the North Node in Taurus. So it has some very positive delineations. Let's go ahead and do the all signs. Just before I do that, I will remind you, because I said this earlier, take my course. Come on, Sky Reader, be your own astrologer, time your best life. If you want to join my newsletter, it's only $198. It's live for 6 weeks every Sunday, and there's replays, and there's a teaching environment, and there's a coaching call every Wednesday, and you get to keep the course material at my Padaya website forever. So, I mean, what else can you ask for? And this is the discount on the early bird. The early bird pricing changes at the end of May. And if you want to take, like May 25th, and then it's $349 with reductions. So you want to grab it before then. And also don't forget the Neptune Mars, it's kind of fun webinar that I'm going to put on the 17th or the 18th, but probably the 17th. You'll know by the time you see this, the link will be in the description box. I'll choose a date and we'll get going. I have a dentist appointment. Oh my effing God. I'm not going. I'm an Aquarius rising. I am not going to get them to inject me with, oh my goodness, no, with a filling. I haven't had a filling in a decade on a day when Neptune and Mars are conjunct. Is that a dumb day for doing that? It totally is. Oh my goodness, I'm going to call them today and change it. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. Oh, big revelation in the middle of my own astrology. Lori, don't do that. Shaula in the sky the next day. Something like, I don't know, I'll have a bad reaction to like the medicine or something that they inject you with. Oh, this is crazy. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Oh, anyway, sorry guys, it's not all about me. I'm just drawing the charts up. Give me a sec. I'm going to start with Aries as always. So Aries, sun, moon, rising sign folk, you're having this energy of the conjunction, every 2-year conjunction of Neptune and Mars at 24.5 degrees of Pisces. You're having that in your 12th house of your kind of inner life, your dreams at night, your kind of spiritual stuff, your past life stuff, your super woo house, hypnosis, magic, mystery, the unconscious, the super conscious, whatever, just the weirdo part of the chart that you often don't have access to because, your ascendant, your identity is an aversion to it. So often you have to make a focused effort to remember your dreams at night or to do the meditation and get the downloads. That's the kind of vibe there. Now it is your addiction, self-undoing, and bad habits. You got an addiction, got a bad habit, you got to let go of. Mars, cut, sever, snip, Neptune, god of addictions. So yeah, a lot of you, it's a defining moment around just surrendering an addiction or a bad habit, and you may just let it go forever. And you've certainly got some support to power that up from Pluto. And at the same time, in a sextile, that Shaula stinger thing that's happening up in your 9th house, you could find that there is a situation with somebody like a teacher, a guide, a mentor, a spiritual authority, where you get a kind of a stingy message from them or a stingy bit of news, and ouch, somewhere on the 17th and 18th, that may hurt a little bit. On the other hand, you also have that South Node energy, North Node energy, excuse me, on the money axis of your chart. And this is not a bad thing because this is a sextile to the North Node. So you could have a dream at night or a vision or a reverie that's going to help you amplify your solar light in the house of earnings. And so for some of you, if you need an inspired download about some kind of business endeavor, like I'm doing right now, I won't go into it, but I'm waiting for the sort of gelling of the and constellating of stuff in something I'm creating. And this could be that for me as an Aries sun and moon. Okay, lastly, for you Aries sun, moon, and rising people, especially, well, it's for the rising, Mars is the lord of your sky, right? He's your number one dog. He's your guy. And he's the one doing this incredible action in your 12th. I'm going to warn you a little bit here because hidden enemies is the 12th house. And Mars, of course, has got treachery, betrayal things when he gets down with Neptune secrets and things that are foggy. So this is a time to watch your back a little bit. And I'm not going to say go around looking for paranoid people who don't have your back, who are out to get you. That's ridiculous. But if you have a suspicion or a feeling that you shouldn't share something with someone or tell something to somebody because your house of speech is activated with the North Node, then keep your mouth shut. Okay. Don't you spill a secret or talk or gossip. Something can sting you and come back to bite you in the bum in the days around this conjunction. And lastly, Mars is not just the ruler of your first house, but he's also the ruler of your, drum roll, please, 8th house of money that comes through stocks, inheritance, taxes, investments. You might have some interesting developments there that kind of surprised you, but are positive as you receive, a tax rebate that you didn't expect, or, your taxes you paid too much, or money from the past comes to you, or some money owed you from the past comes to you, or a bit of bequeathment energy could pick up here, but you could have a little bit of money love in the middle of this kind of action on the, let's go 16th, 17th, 18th of the month. All right. So because you do have your 8th house lord in the 12th, which is a very flowing energy. Mars is flowing toward the 8th house of greater financial gain and the 2nd house of earnings as well. So it's pretty cool for you guys. Get ready, set for that. Taurus, sun, moon, and rising sign people. Well, Mars is meeting with Neptune around 25 degrees of the sign of Pisces in your whole sign 11th house. And this is a place of good fortune in a sense. It's a house of good spirit. It can be very lucky, can help bring great financial gain and favors from friends and more fun and social engagements as well. Now, certainly, if you want to up level your friendships into a way more spiritual community or some kind of, dreamy, spiritual, a lofty, transcendent group of people. This is like joining the temple of, meditators in your community or something, or online community as well. You could find that, I forgot to say this for Aries, Hercules is here, the labors of Hercules. What do you need to work on as a demigod with superpowers that you can get through with great aim, Diana, regarding your deepest dreams, wishes, and goals, which can be the 11th house. What do you aspire to in your life, but also in terms of what you want to see in your social life, your friendship circles, and your greater gains from your career, your 10th house. You can also perhaps find that this could lead to some kind of dramatic, powerful event to do with higher education, foreign lands and travel, or book publishing. That's it. Pluto sextiling the event from your 9th house, or father figure. Pluto represents father or father figures. The 9th house does in Vedic astrology. Pluto is power. What kind of father authority figure is going to get involved for you and maybe support you in your dreams, goals, and wishes being made more manifest from a place of, yes, Herculean effort and Diana the archer taking aim, but it looks and feels really good for you. I like the vibe of that myself. And, with your sun with the sun at 26 degrees of Taurus ish during this day, this is the sun in the house of you. It's revitalizing you. It's trying to bring you more spark of vitality, life force energy, feeling more alive, feeling more on purpose. That's what the sun's doing here when it comes home to your Taurian zone. Whether it's your sun, moon, or rising, you feel enlivened. And the sun is being supportive of this Neptune and this Mars conjunction. So you could find that whatever's going on in your friendship circles, your groups of belonging, your hopes, dreams, and wishes, you feel vitalized around that 16th, 17th, 18th of the month. Now, Shaula, the stinger, is in your 8th house. You could have a sting, like you didn't pay enough taxes, you have to pay some more. You could have, this is a bequeathment transit too, maybe. You could find that somebody is going to pass in your system of your family, and you might end up having that stings, but it gives you more money. You could also find that the moon in Shaula in the 8th house is that you feel stung or betrayed by a female that you know, and it hurts, ouch, that doesn't feel good. But you could also just have a sting in the house of your an investment. Like everyone felt the sting of that tanking stock market thing. I hate to say it, I told a client to sell an altcoin because of his chart and the timing, and about a month before all this thing tanked. You can usually see these things in advance. And I would say to you, he didn't, he regrets that. Your moon here is like telling you that there is some kind of thing that you need to look at, because it's still a full moon in the sky regarding your finances. Okay. And regarding secrets as well. So here's another one. What secret could be spilled that stings, okay, from a friend in your larger social circles? That's another option. But in the meantime, this is just one little tidbit of the sky. Mars is the ruler of your 7th house of marriage. And this is a flowing, harmonious water trine to your marriage house. So this is also conversely good for your relationship. And, maybe you and your marriage partner find new groups of belonging that really satisfy your spiritual ideals and your sense of dreamy hope and, a higher level connection to other people. I don't know, something like that. And he does rule Mars as well, your 12th house of dreams at night. So certainly with Neptune involved, the god of dreams, you could have some powerful dreams at night during this window of time for you Taurians. Gemini, sun, moon, rising sign. So Geminis, guess what? I'm not sure if I'm looking at you guys here because I'm looking at the chart. You're going to experience this Neptune Mars co-joining in your 10th house of career. And this is also like how people see you. It's your reputation. It's like, it's your most visible part of the sky. And so this is somehow you could be seen by others as suddenly embodying more of that spiritual energy, that warrior, that spiritual warrior, the magician, the alchemist that Mars and Neptune can be together. At the same time, you're taking aim, you've got Diana and Herculean energy in your career zone, Gemini. So you're really, really taking aim up there. And you could devise a new dream, a new vision, and a new goal to take action on in your career. Don't forget, if you're not doing well, you might also feel ennui and stalled and unable to take action in a career direction. But you do have solar support from the sun in the 12th house. Pay attention to your dreams at night, your inner insights, your meditations, things where you can glean information from that 12th house, subconscious, unconscious, superconscious self, because that's going to support that career piece for you. And at the same time, Pluto in your 8th house, this is money power. This is financial power or secret power. So all of that does support this career as well. The moon has stingers though in the house of business partners and marriage partners, and with Shala sending some stings there. Maybe your partner has some stingy, not popular, not nice thing to say to you about your career ambitions, or a business partner could likely also be a source of conflict in those 3 days, let's say 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, around there of the month. Okay. Don't forget that you're taking that Herculean effort to make your dreams come true in your career. With the energy of Mars owning your 11th house of great gains, the more you can get into your dreams and really own your highest vision for your true purpose in career. Mars is trying to say, well, I can deliver the great gains, the promotions, the recognitions, the awards, and the financial gain from your 10th house. Mars also owns the 6th house of work and health. So your health and work routines. Mars is saying, own the true dream, dream the big dream, follow your bliss. This could be just like follow your bliss in your career, Geminis, and the universe is trying to reward you. Cancer, sun, moon, and rising sign. Well, you're in a water trine to this. Okay, so this is wonderful for you. This is flowing the love towards your identity. This is like supporting you. It's making you more dreamy, nostalgic, mysterious, and magical. And because you also have the South Node going through your 5th house of inspiration, the muse, and creativity, you get a temporary water trine in the sky, especially if your rising sign is anywhere between, let's say, 19 to 26 degrees of Cancer. And this flowing energy coming toward you is really feeling good. For you, you could have spiritual enlightenment episodes because this is happening in the 9th house of God. You could plan or go on the dream trip of a century to a foreign land. What a dreamy adventure that opens up your spiritual life as well. You could have a sense of a new beginning in some kind of educational direction, taking action up there, that very much supports a sense of inspiration, excitement, enthusiasm for you. And you also get energy from that North Node in the 11th house as well, bringing allies and benefactors to support you in something either educational, and learning, or foreign lands and travel. When I see Neptune Mars up there in the house of foreign lands, I think, are you going to go and do some ayahuasca in Peru or something? It could be very magical for you. You do have Pluto in your 7th house of business and marriage partners, and he's supporting what's going on in that 9th house conjunction between Neptune and Mars. So support from your mate, support from your business partners or your fans, clients, and audience for whatever you're dreaming into being. If you want to publish a book or writing a book or thinking of writing a book or have been writing a book, this is very auspicious for getting an agent or getting a contact or something to help elevate you and get that book off and up and running and into the world, or at least find the agent and the means for that to happen. I know a few Cancer risings who I know are writing books. Now, you also have a stinger coming, Shala, ouch, the stinger of the Scorpion in your 6th house of health protocols and work routines. Now, be careful around your, hips, because Sagittarius is the ruler of your 6th house, and that's usually your hips, your pelvic girdle and stuff. Be cautious around that, not to injure yourself. It could simply be you decide to climb a mountain in a foreign land and it was too much for your body. Be careful around just be careful around health protocols that could be accidentally ouchy, stinging you. Don't overdo it. That's the best I can say for that. I mean, you do have Mars in Aries right now, and Jupiter in Aries right now, which, no, just forget it. I won't even say that. Well, Jupiter rules your health issues and Aries makes him overly bold and ambitious. So just cool it on health protocols and exercise routines a little bit on this 15th to the 19th or something, so you don't injure yourself or sting yourself. And next, Leo, Sun, Moon, and oh, did I say everything I wanted to say for you guys? Sorry, I'm going back. I was talking about Cancer rising. Yeah, I was just saying that Mars is the ruler of, I wanted to add that to it. Mars is the owner / ruler and champion of your 5th house of romance and love and sexuality and fun and joy. There's no doubt about, for some of you, this could be a dream romance on a foreign trip, a soulmate love on a foreign journey, or a soulmate dream romance on an educational or spiritual setting that's picking up some steam for you. Leo, Sun, Moon, and rising sign. So guys, you do have the energy of this conjunction of the 2 planets, Mars and Neptune, in your 8th house. This is not the easiest placement, because Neptune here can be confusing you, Leos, rising, especially for a long time, around your resources, your money, your investment monies and stuff like that. But now Mars and Neptune co-join under Diana taking aim, Hercules, the labors of, and the heroic efforts it take to do something super heroic and super powered, demigod-like. If you want to really make some kind of financial investment that you've been waiting to do and you've been thinking about it, this could be the action taking steps this week. And Pluto is giving a sextile. He is a wealth god, supporting that from the 6th house of karmic debt. And you have the Sun in the North Node sextiling back to the Mars in the 10th house of career and reputation. Or it could be something going on with your career and reputation that allows your financial situation to look very good, but requires effort. So you're going to get, to share in the stock, the stocks of your company. You're going to get a buy-in as an investor or something. But of course, it's going to take effort and time for that to come to fruition. And you have to take aim, I guess. And there's a horn going off. You do have the Mars ruling your 4th house of land and home and real estate. And if you're into moving or buying a home or selling a home or releasing a new home, because you're looking like, or a lot of Leos are going to change their homes, right, over the next year and a half. You've got South Node through the 4th house. Certainly by summer to the end of 23, a lot of you have or will be moving. And, this is activating that part of your sky. So could you have some kind of financial opportunity to move? You're able to get a mortgage, or you're able to sell the property so you can go. So some financial stuff connecting to a potential relocation may be opening up for you at the middle of the week next week. As I said, look for the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, the whole thing. the stinger of Shala, the star and the moon on the 17th, 18th is coming from your 5th house of your children, your romantic engagements, from risky speculation and investments, from playing the lottery. Be careful not to put all your money down on red number 10 at a casino. You know, I mean, be cautious. This is like, that would sting. Something will go wrong. It's squaring that Mars-Neptune. You'll be deluded. I'm going to put all my money in the altcoin, you know, Luna, because it dropped by 70%. Well, maybe, but maybe not. Maybe it'll drop another 10. Maybe you should not do that. I don't know, making stuff up. But I'm just saying, be cautious around sort of gambling. Do not gamble money, okay, for any of you, Leos, no matter how lucrative the opportunity looks, you will be deluded and you will get stung. And of course, maybe your partner stings you, right? Maybe your lover or one of your children is going to be mean to you or do something that hurts. So, you know, try to brush it off. This too shall pass. What else did I want to say? That's about it. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising sign. You have this in your romance, like your significant other house, business and love partners that you are with, you know, like love the one you're with. Now, I like it. I mean, because Neptune is soulmate love. Hopefully you finally found your soulmate, because he's been here since 2011 trying to get you a soulmate vibe, but you've been deluded and seen people improperly for a while. It probably changed in 2018, 19, when you got past the midpoint of Pisces, you begin to see a little less deludedly and more clearly. But then Mars is like action, passion. It could be about your partner. If you're married or you're with someone or you're living with someone or you're in a committed relationship, they could be taking a lot of action and moving in the direction of some kind of Neptunian thing, their true dreams or true goals. It may not even be about you, but it is in your marriage house and business partnership house. So Virgo rising. And you could be making changes, Mars, to your partnerships in work and business, or you maybe feel stalled depending on getting those changes enacted. But you have support from Pluto, from your 5th house. So Pluto in the 5th house is like, you know, your enthusiasm, your inspiration, your excitement, your deeper motivation to get something going. You also have support from the sun in your 9th house. So some of you Virgos, again, 9th house is foreign lands, spirituality, temples, religion, beliefs, dharma, father figure. It can also, so there's support from a father figure, sun, north node in the 9th to achieve and get what it is you want to have happen in your significant other of business and marriage partnerships. You could also find with Pluto in your 5th house, if you have children, that some of this is involving some positive developments with your children. They're going off to university, for instance, yay, or they're going to liberate themselves a little bit more and you're happy for them. You get some stinger action in your 4th house of home and real estate, something in the domestic life, in your private life, in your home life, could be ouchy. That's the way I can put it. Could be a woman is stinging you in the home, your mom, a mother-like figure, another female. And it feel like maybe the 17th and 18th when that stinger is out and the moon is full moon is activating it. You might also see something in your home that's just stinging, you know, like, oh my God, when I pull out the carpet, I realized there's mold underneath the carpet or that kind of thing. Or I opened that cupboard up and found out that there is like an infestation of moss or something. So you could find something icky in your home or stinging in your home that needs to be uncovered anyway. The full moon on Shala, right? It's lighting the way. And there's just that. And, you know, the Neptune Mars in the 7th could be like, what is there going on in your home regarding your partner, significant other, that needs to be revealed, that is a little ouchy, that they could have hidden from you or something? Just the thought. But for the most part, this is great. And it gives you a focus and a Herculean effort regarding your primary relationship to make things work. That's how I'm seeing it. And business partnerships work. And anything else I'd say to you guys? Well, Virgo, you know, Mars, who's the domicile lord of your 3rd house, is in the 7th during this event. So this could also open up a trip or a travel or a chance to take a short journey with your primary partner that could open up during the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th. And if it's so, it'd be lovely and feel really good for you. And Mars is also the lord of your eighth house of inheritances and taxes and tax rebates, and some of that stuff might, and investments and loan money, and some of that might show up as a positive development as well during this window of time. But more so, I think the trips, travel, third house stuff, or having more fun with the one you're with in your local neighborhood. And with Neptunian fun could be like, bring out the mushrooms and the shrooms and the weed and all the fun stuff, all the altered states of consciousness stuff. Okay. Libra, sun, moon, and rising. Guess what? You've got the Neptune Mars conjunction in your sixth house of health and work protocols, work routines, the co-office, co-worker space. You could be stalled and stuck and have ennui, or you could be jumping forward. Now, the jumping forward is likely if things going on in your work are going to connect to your home, because Pluto in the house of your home is helping this Neptune Mars conjunction with Diana, the asteroid of taking aim, the huntress, and the archetype of Herculean effort in the 12 labors. What deep, powerful aim and effort do you need to take in your workspace, co-worker space, employee space, or within the space of your own way you do the work you do, that is going to power things up regarding where you live and your home and your things to do with the foundation of your life. At the same time, you're getting a lot of support from the North Node and the Sun in the house of bank loans and mortgages and financial breaks of all kinds, getting a grant, a stipend, a rebate. Some good news is coming to you or trying to happen in this kind of sky next week. And you do not have, and you have the stinger in your third house. So a nosy neighbor turns out to be mean and nasty toward you regarding things that you're trying to create in your home life, in your work life, in your health life, or a sibling or aunt, uncle, cousin, nephew, niece vibe, female, most likely moon in your third house full, shines an ouchy light, stinger light into something going on in that part of your life, anything like that. But the gist of it could be that you are opening up some kind of a possible journey. The moon is full in your third house. That is not necessarily the most comfortable journey or easy journey or trip that you're taking. It squares this Neptune, it squares this, Mars. Be cautious for taking an unnecessarily daunting, arduous trip. Do you really need to go on a 24-hour flight to New Zealand or something? Think about it. But, short trips and travel is usually really what it is. The moon is in the house of her joy, even though she's on the stinger. And the third house is diviners, oracles, scryers, crystal ball gazers, tarot readers. Maybe you get some information from one of those types of people. It doesn't feel good, but maybe you need to hear it. Maybe they say something that's true, but it stings a bit. Okay? Possible. And with Mars being the Lord of your second house of money, earnings, and cash flow, the South Node is going through that part of your chart, right? Until the end of next year, really mid 23, trickling to the fall. So you're trying to let go of the hustle and the grind and the way you have to make the money you have to make. You're trying to loosen the grip on all of that. And Mars here with Neptune saying, can you find a dream work path, a higher, noble, spiritual, and magical path for your work that allows you to let go of that hustle and move towards generating eighth house wealth, like royalties and derivatives and passive income and membership sites and things like that. All right, moving on to Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising sign. So Scorpio, you get this energy of Neptune and Mars together in the sky at 24, 25 degrees of Pisces in your fifth house of romance, sexuality, fun and play and joy and pleasure. If you're a single Scorpio, this is very much like, wow, my spiritual mate has arrived. My dream lover is here. If you've been with the wrong one, Mars can help you cut away from the delusion that the person you're with is for you, especially if it's more at the dating stage or the lover stage. Scorpios, you also get a lot of this idea that the Lord of your ascendant, the planet that's the strongest for you in the sky, who only wishes the best for you, is water trining back to your rising sign, sun, or moon. Now, if your rising sign, sun, or moon then is, let's say, between 18 degrees and 26 degrees, 27 degrees at the most of Pisces, you get a lot of love from the Lord of your sky, from Neptune in the fifth. Dreamy outcomes in love and romance. But if you're artistic, creative, if you're a music maker, a songwriter, a storyteller, if you have creativity, the muse is in this house. So Mars is like delivering Neptunian muse information to you in a flowing and harmonious way. Your dreams at night, you're in a dream or reverie, you have a daydream, you're in the shower, you come down with the idea of a century for your creative path, your art path, your, the muse path. And you also do have support from Pluto in your third house. You could get support from extended family members, especially siblings at this time. You could also get support from any journeys or trips you take to inspire your creativity to a new level. And you also have the sun in the North Node in your seventh, really opening up a window of, maybe a trip with the one you're with, maybe a getaway with your significant other or business partner, but, that really is also creating greater, dreamy, spiritual, tantric-like connections in your sex life with that person as well. And lastly, you get the stinger in your second house. Now you guys have to watch out. Shala is like, ouch, it stings. It's connected to the scorpion stinger and could bring some poison into your life. Yeah, we don't need that, do we? And so just like the Aquarians who have to watch out, we'll get to that. You have to watch out for that as well. So you could food poison yourself, right? By having too much fun in your fifth house of pleasure. So just be cautious about what you eat, not to overdo it. Don't sting yourself with a hangover of the century. Don't eat that food that looks good but smells bad, whatever. Pay attention to what you put in your mouth. It's a full moon in the house of things you put in your mouth. And also it is the voice and it's your voice often. So what are you going to say that could hurt your lover, your beloved, or dampen the joy factor? So be careful with your speech and be careful for what you eat, not to either poison yourself or cause harm with your words, your poison words aimed at someone. Mars is the god who owns you. So you're going to find it's mostly a good thing because he's trining you. He's also the Lord of your sixth house of health protocols and work routines. And that could be a possibly somewhat okay place, although he's not quite involved. He's in aversion. Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. Well, you have this conjunction of Mars and Neptune in your natal fourth house. And in that natal fourth house, there's a sense of home. Where are you living? Where's your apartment? What land are you on? What, maybe even city are you living in? This is like the home base and the foundation. And it's the house of the mother. So Sagittarius is what is going on in your home that's kind of trying to be Herculean and taking aim, but also visionary, imaginal, dreamy, and action oriented. And because you got support from Pluto in the second house, you may be financing something, getting the monies or selling a possession or somehow getting some kind of way to put money and home together in a harmonious way. So maybe you're going to buy a bunch of new furniture. Maybe you're going to do some renovations at home that are your dream home because, Mars is construction, right? And then Sagittarius, you're getting solar and North Node energy in this window of this week, supporting you as well. And that is in your work routines and health routines in which there is some opening and some light that supports your things you're doing in and from your home. You could even say a boss or an authority figure in the workplace can expand your ability to do some dreamy, positive things in and from your home. You do have the stinger Shala, in your first house. This is you. You are the stinger. You are the scorpion's tail. You could sting something, someone, or even yourself. So be cautious you don't overly aggressively do something with a hammer and hammer your finger or something, but you could also find, or don't be cautious for over athletic endeavors. You do have Jupiter in your fifth house and you could overextend yourself athletically right now, but you have to be careful that you don't become that scorpion stinger to people in your home, like people you're living with or towards your own mother. Okay. Because that stinger is aimed towards the fourth house in a square. So just be cautious with your countenance toward people in your private and domestic life during this 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th kind of vibe of the month of May. Mars is the ruler or the lord of your 12th house, and dreams at night are with the South Node there, very likely nocturnal dreams and daydreams and meditational dreams and trance journey stuff. this is very auspicious for you now. And Neptune is in a flow to the south node. You could excavate, uncover past life memories, do hypnosis, find yourself having spontaneous remembrances of other lives or whatever. It's very mystical. It's very magical in some way. And, there's a possibility of you having a spiritual breakthrough, because both the 4th and the 12th are enlightenment or moksha houses. And you're likely to have a breakthrough because you're really seeing yourself as a being separate from your family of origin stories and the things you were taught as a child, and separating yourself out from that narrative. Mars separating, Neptune enlightenment, 4th house family of origin and ancestral beliefs. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising sign, Caps. Guess what? This is your 3rd house where Mars and Neptune are joining together, and that is your local hood. That is your siblings and your aunts and uncles and cousins and nieces and nephews. And it's learning things, skills-based learning, and it's online platforms, and it's, should I say, short trips and travel. It's a busy Cadent house, got a lot of meanings. So all of that stuff is getting a kind of dreamy, magical, alchemical, manifesting vibe. You may go on a journey to visit a sibling or an extended family member. You may take a learning of some kind that is very spiritually meaningful to you. And you also get this energy, therefore, of support from Pluto in your 1st house. Yes, you've been going through that Pluto deputization thing since 2008, but now you are the powerful one. You are the top energy of the god of the underworld, and you support this 3rd house siblings thing or extended family thing. Maybe a trip to see a sibling turns out to be magical, mystical, and powerful, for example. And you're also getting support from your children or your lover, because there's a sun in the north node also loving up this 3rd house conjunction. So they are sort of chiming in, and you might find yourself enthused about a trip or excited or inspired or something like that, or about learning something as well. Then you have the stinger, Shala, in the 12th house. Now, this is your own self-undoing house, your own sabotage yourself house, addictions and stuff. How might you undo yourself? I mean, because Neptune, Mars can be toxicity or, poisoning or overdosing, and the addictions are the 12th. So a lot of you Capricorn rising, especially, be cautious, especially if your Capricorn rising, let's say, is in the 18 to 26 degree zone. Just be careful that you don't overdo something and accidentally cause yourself some sabotage or harm. Or a woman who's not got your back, like the old hidden enemies in the 12th house, could sting you as well. So be careful for that as well. Mars is the lord of your your 4th house of home, but in this case, I want to focus on the Scorpio zone, your 11th house of your reputation from your career, your great gains from your career, your awards, rewards, and financial status from your career. You've got a South Node transit there. You're trying to let go of all of that. You really don't want to be in that kind of high profile, look at me zone anymore if you've been there. And you're trying to move towards your inspiration, your creativity, and your joy in the 5th. And, this is like a flowing water trine to that 11th house where you've got a leaky tire, letting go of your reputation, not worrying about your great gains from your career anymore. So, you may have to take some new area of learning or study or self-study or something in order to pull yourself away from that more high profile 11th house. But if you do, Herculean effort and Diana taking aim, it will pay off, Capricorn. It will pay off. Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising. Here we are. We too have to watch out about food poisoning and poisoning. And I will change my dentist appointment now. Damn it, they're going to hate me. I keep changing my appointment. Okay, so the reason we have to worry is we've got this Neptune and Mars in the 2nd house of things we put in our mouth or substances that go through our mouth or whatever, and Mars stinging things like injection needles. Like, I'm going to go to the dentist. I don't think so. Next on the 17th. I better call them right away. And interestingly, what's going on for you, I'm going straight to the stinger, is that Shaula is happening in your 11th house, right? It's a positive house. And honestly, it's probably fine to go to the dentist for me, but I'm not taking any chances. But the 11th house is like allies and friends who are benefactors, but it's stingy up there. So who are detractors. What allies and friends could be detractors instead that you thought were your friends, thought were your benefactors, thought were your allies. And it could be a sting in your money story, because the 2nd house is a money house. And Shala's aiming, the stinger of the Scorpion's aiming from your 11th. Did you expect a great gain on a career direction you were taking and it flubbed? I'm going to laugh. I mean, I was hoping a lot of people would sign up for my Sky Reader course. I'll probably get at least a couple of dozen, but I was really excited about it. Maybe I was like, oh, that wasn't the biggest deal. And it didn't work out the way I wanted. Maybe I'll just feel stung by the lack of moon in the 11th, popular appeal for something I'm teaching. Because I never know. You put a course out there like a couple of years ago, the timing masterclass, and I had 100 people almost, or 70 people. A crow landed in my balcony, you Aquarians. Sky Reader, check it out, guys. It was probably going to be an intimate group of 25 people at this point. You'll learn a lot from me about how to read your natal chart for 6 weeks. This crow is beautiful, guys, and he's right on my balcony. He's so gorgeous. Crows don't land on my balcony. So Pluto, power, Aquarius rising in our 12th house of our addictions and self-undoing, but also of like the ascendant masters and angels and spirit guides and weird woo stuff. And there's this like supernatural, magical power that Pluto is trying to lend to the second house of our money and our food and our earnings and our vocation. So that's positive. And at the same time, we're getting support from the real estate and home life part of the sky, from the North Node and the Sun, all sort of dovetailing and channeling energy towards this conjunction of Neptune and Mars in the second house. Maybe for some of us Aquarians, it's like, how are we trying to funnel practical things we do in and from our home into earnings, or earnings can funnel towards our home, and there's power from the deepest realms of beings towards what we're trying to achieve. Because more than money, the second house is our voice. And Mars, Neptune, our spiritual warrior voice, but it's also a profound energy of Hercules and Diana. How do we want to take heroic labors into the house of voice and vocation and earnings with aim, Diana, that can generate good news about where we live, expand our home, bring us wealth? I almost forgot to mention payment processors like Stripe, Vicro, and all of that and PayPal, that's revenue generated from foreign lands. So this could be a money story in a positive way around those themes of generating revenue from payment processors, expanding our home, and all of that. So pay attention to what you're doing, really focus on what you're doing around the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th next week, you Aquarius, is because stuff in that week has a huge momentum for you in your money story. Now, just watch out for stingy friends and dreams and hopes that maybe sting because they didn't work out the way you wanted. Mars is the Lord of your career house. So we got to remember that he's coming together with this Neptune, and he's flowing and loving up your reputation, career, Scorpio 10th house stuff. And even while the South Node is dripping our energy away and moving us toward doing things in and from the home. And even as that happens, we did have Mars rising, heliacal rising in Scorpio in the fall of 21. So no matter which way we go, we let go of one career and we rise in something new over the next 2 years, Aquarius. I think that's all I want to say for you guys, for us guys, Yeah, Mars does rule our third house, and we could get a dream trip coming up. And I'm planning a trip actually in the wake of this event, but for the most part, I think it's about the career zone. Okay. Pisces, last but never least, sun, moon, and rising sign. So Pisces folk, you're going to have this energy in the house of you. Obviously, you are Pisces. This is happening at 25 Pisces. If your sun, moon, and rising is between 18 and 26 to 7 degrees of Pisces, it's really coming home and landing in your identity. How are you the advocate, the spiritual warrior, the champion, the heroic, the mystical, the mystic, the action-taking, spiritual visionary of some sort? And this is coming together, in a new way. Remember, I said earlier, it's the first time that this has happened since 2013, after Jupiter kind of blessed the first house, when on April 12th, he joined with Neptune here. You do have support from Pluto, powerful friends in high places, allies and benefactors moving into alignment with supporting you to become more of an active spiritual warrior, champion, hero vibe. This is certainly good for enlivening your sense of the mystical qualities of who you are. And Pluto in your 11th can also bring you some great career gains of money through this amplification of your mystical warrior energies, your alchemist and manifestor self. Sun in their third, siblings, Aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, and nephews are also supportive. Trips and travel, local neighborhood things, supportive. Online learning or skills-based learning, also supportive. Getting your website and your social media shit together, also really good for you right now. So next week you could get your mojo because you can dream more deeply into what it is you want to become so that you amplify that into the online world, into the teaching world, into the writing world, if you're a writer, because that's where that sun and north node are. And you may write something really cool in the window of this time next week. Well, you do have stingy energy from the 10th house. You may feel stung by a boss at work, a colleague, or someone in power above you in the career zone, or you could be stung just by the concept of your reputation taking a dent, gossip. Full moon light in the house of reputation. Somebody says something about you that really doesn't feel good. Maybe it's more widely broadcast than you would like. You know what I mean? It's not just like a tiny little deal to you. But you have to let it go. I mean, the stinger stings and then it's done. A female in the workplace could, betray you, treachery and betrayal up there in the top of the sky. Again, you can't stop these things from happening. You can only just like let go, let God, and let it go through. You do have so much goodness. I wouldn't worry about it. And, this is such an excellent time for you. You got born as a Pisces rising or sun and moon, but Pisces rising more so during the time in which since 1856, we haven't seen Neptune moving through the house of you and having been joined by Jupiter, right? So this has been an exquisite time in April, and it's like a new you, a powerful transformation of you to a higher level of mystical qualities that you are here to embody, creative, artistic qualities you're here to embody. The mystic poet of the zodiac is how I think of you guys. You're getting the fact that Mars is the Lord of your 9th house of God. You could have some new spiritual revelations, the divine connecting with you directly, a new belief or faith open up for you, a trip to a foreign land or shore or book publishing opportunity. You may also find that you get some juice as well in your 2nd house of money. A little yay you earnings pickup could happen next week during this time. All right, Pisces, sun, moon, and rising and all that. Thank you so much for listening. Now, don't forget, everyone, like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out my description box, Sky Reader course. Come on, jump aboard starting on the 29th of May. I hope to have at least 24 students in that class, and I'm looking forward to teaching it. And also, don't forget, I think I'm going to do the Neptune Jupiter thing on the 17th, and I will ditch that dentist appointment. If you want to come aboard and come into a live webinar, I usually do a guided meditation, no longer than an hour class, a little slideshow, then a guided meditation to help you connect with Diana the Huntress, to connect with the Hercules in you and the super divine demigod warrior hero, and also to connect to your highest visions and dreams with that Mars-Neptune conjunction. All right, ciao, ciao. And I'll see you guys on the next video, which I'm not even sure what it's going to be yet. I haven't planned it. And I'm recording on May 13th. You won't get this until either the 14th or the 15th. It always gets advance notice to my Patreon community. So if you always want to get videos up to a day to even a week in advance of the rest of the world, and you get a whole bunch of other perks, check it out. $5 minimum to jump in. You see me, you can visit with me as well twice a month, up to 3 times a month, depending on your tier, in live Zoom calls. Ciao, everyone.